So today we're going to try another attempt at unsticking the frozen clutch on the Ford 5000. So because I mean, all the other issues right now that I'm finding with the tractor are pretty much small potatoes compared to the clutch. I mean, if we can't get the clutch unstuck, then it means a major job of breaking the tractor in half to fix it. So I've given Aiden instructions to start the ATV and empty the brush off the wagon, because it's right in the way where I need to drive the tractor. He appears to be mentally readying himself for the work. It's quite breezy out here today. It's about 50 degrees, but with the breeze, it's actually a little nippy. So I have been driving the tractor a little bit, believe it or not. What I found that if you have the throttle all the way down, that you can pop it into low range. So I can literally pop it into low range, drive it to where I want to drive it to, and then I have to pop it out into neutral. Of course, the big danger with that is sometimes when you go to pop it out of neutral, you pull back too far and it goes back and pops into high range. That's if it's rolling. If it's standing still, you can't get it into high range at all. Now with the fuel shutoff cable replaced, at least it's a little bit more safe, because if all else fails and you panic, you just pull the shutdown switch and shut down. Noticed a couple of times when I went to start it, it cranked really slow. I think I might still need to replace those battery cables that look so horrible. But again, you know, that's another issue that I can deal with if we fix the major issue of the clutch.
Why wouldn't it turn before?
Huh?
Why wouldn't it turn before?
I think it's low on power steering fluid. What we're going to try and do today, Aiden's going to help me, or try to help me, is we're going to try this method that I read online that somebody used to break their tractor free. So now that we have a shutdown cable, what we do is we leave the shutdown cable in the out position so that the engine can't start. We put the tractor transmission in the highest gear and in the highest range, and then we tow the tractor with the other tractor, and that'll make the engine turn over, but it won't be able to start because the fuel shutoff will be pulled out. And the idea is that we do that for a bit, and every once in a while I think we hit the brakes maybe, and with a little luck it'll pop that clutch free. It's all theoretical at this point. Alright, so what I just decided I'm going to try before I do anything else is I'm going to try and adjust the free play on the clutch, because we're wondering whether or not, it seems like this pedal's not doing anything until it gets down like 5 inches of travel on the pedal before it actually feels like it's actually engaging anything here. So that only lets us go a little bit step on that. That only lets us go to there before the pedal seems to bottom out on something. Or is it? I'm not sure actually. Look out. Do it again. Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if this linkage could actually go even a little bit further. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get some wrenches. We're going to loosen up these jam nuts. I'm going to loosen up this jam nut. We're going to take this clevis off of here. Take the pin out. Readjust this so that we're pulling on this even harder. Alright, I think somebody was messing with this not that long before this tractor was parked, because this cotter pin, the ends of it are broken off, and I was able to pull it out with my fingers. So, before I do anything, I brought my magnetic indicator base out because it's a handy way for me to stick it somewhere on the body here if I can find a flat spot. There we go. There we go. And I can use this as kind of like a rough indication of how much travel I'm getting out of this thing, so that I can compare it to what the max travel will be after I make the adjustment. Let's see if it made a difference, essentially. I'll run this down this way. There we go. Okay. I don't like that. There we go. This will be better. All right, and step on the pedal all the way. Push down hard.
I am.
All right, release. All right, push down again. Okay, release. So what I did is I set this rod so that it was just touching the back of this arm when he pushes the clutch pedal all the way down. Push it all the way down again. All right, release. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pin out. Should have brought a small hammer.
Where you go?
Right here.
Don't hit your head.
So this is just doing this. It doesn't feel like it's engaging anything. Huh.
But if you push it all the way, nothing.
So step on that clutch pedal. Alright, so that's just the spring pressure. There's a return spring for the pedal. That's all that we're feeling. We're not really, this isn't doing anything. So I'm thinking, what does that mean? That means that this is probably...
Clutch is stuck.
Yeah.
Put the screwdriver in there.
That's what I brought the screwdriver for, actually. It's not for a punch. It was for this job. Okay. I want to clean that up, definitely. The wire wheel. That's far enough, actually. All right. Push the clutch pedal down slowly. Push it all the way. Oh, that is moving it more. All right, let go. Very little, but it did something. I guess I should just really max it out. All right, I adjusted that about another 1/4 of an inch. which that's almost like a ½ inch total extra. Got to press the pedal all the way down now.
I can't.
You can't press it down any further than that?
Yes, I can.
That's probably at the physical limit of the movement of that thing.
You see it.
Huh?
Never mind.
What are you saying?
Never mind.
Yeah. Why don't you hop down? Let me try it just for giggles. Key on. That's the top gear right there. So now we keep that shutoff pulled out. I'm gonna start the other tractor, we'll hook it up, try and pull it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, and then when I start pulling the tractor, hopefully this will pull it. And then the engine will start turning, but it won't start if the shutoff is pulled out. Yeah. Just wanted to let it do that. And then if the clutch breaks free, the tractor rolls forward suddenly, hit the brake.
Always moves when you use it. When he moves.
Well, in that low of a gear, we could definitely pull it with the other tractor, so that's one thing we got going for us. Aiden can't tell over the sound of the other tractor's engine. He can't tell whether or not this engine's turning. Whatever you do, do not let off on the clutch. Keep the clutch pedal down.
All the way?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of a long shot, but maybe it just popped free.
PTO's not spinning, the band's not spinning.
Well, it's pretty easy to tell. Let's see. It's still in gear. Still be in gear. Alright, we still got the shutoff pulled out, so keep your foot in the clutch and turn the key. Try and crank the engine. Lever up. should be turning the engine.
Yeah.
Until it starts rolling. Looks like we get a bad clutch. So here's what's going on. We put the tractor in 4th gear, and then we put it in high range, which is the top speed, the lowest, well, the highest gear.
It's 8.
So at the highest gear, the tractor should be able to pull this tractor, and with the clutch out and in gear, it would want to turn the engine. If the clutch was stuck, engaged, which is what we thought, then it would make sense that the engine would want to turn even with the clutch out. So we started towing it, and lo and behold, the engine wasn't turning. So then I had Aiden release the clutch pedal while I started moving the tractor, and as soon as he did that, immediately you could see that the tractor was having trouble pulling it, which meant that it was starting to turn the whole engine and everything. So the weird thing is, the clutch is engaging and disengaging, but it's not disengaging enough to allow me to put the tractor into gear, which I believe that means that the clutch is just past its wear limit. I think that's what's wrong here. So unfortunately, I don't think there's any magical fix. So just want to see if anything changed. I kind of doubt it though. See if there's enough slack to take that chain off.
I think so.
If the clutch is working correctly, then I should be able to leave it in gear. Just push the clutch pedal down and start it. I think it has to be neutral. There's a neutral switch, I think, on this. So. So used to shutting the key off and the motor shutting off.
Yeah. So we fixed it.
So it looks like we fixed it. I don't know how. Must have been just banging it like that. It should be recording.
Yeah.
It must have been just jolting it like that we got the thing to pop free. So now I'm gonna need to reset the proper free play on the clutch here. And another problem, well, it's kind of a problem we kind of knew about, has popped up. Occasionally the power steering fails. And unlike other tractors where the manual steering is still a direct link, and so you can still steer it, it's just hard to steer. On this thing, because of the way the steering works, it's fully hydraulic. So when you lose the steering, you can't turn the wheels at all. When we were trying to tow this tractor out of where it was parked at that farm, we were having to turn the wheel hard, and Aiden noticed that hydraulic fluid was leaking out over here. And I think what was happening was we were putting so much stress on the hydraulic system, we were probably forcing hydraulic fluid out of a vent or something on the top of the steering valve. At least I'm hoping that's what it was. But there's a reservoir on the side here for the power steering. Separate hydraulic system for the power steering. So this is most likely a reservoir, and then this must be the pump inside here. Either that or the pump is this little skinny area right in here. From here to here might be pump, and this might be the reservoir. Regardless, it all adds up to the same thing, which is that this is the system for the power steering. This is apparently the fill cap, and if I take this off and I look in here, what I see is, well, actually, I think I'm looking at a filter. I think that's a filter.
What do you mean?
You know, a filter, like an oil filter. I think it's a hydraulic filter. See right there? That looks like the pleats of a filter.
How do you take it out then?
Wow, that's a good question. I have an owner's manual. That might be part of routine maintenance, so it might be covered in that. So I don't know what the level's supposed to be on this, but I'm pretty sure that it shouldn't look like milk. It shouldn't look like Pepto-Bismol, pink. So I think that's definitely something we could do. Is
Drain it all.
yeah, drain the system, flush the system, put a new filter in, put new fluid in, and you know, Lord willing, that'll be enough to solve our power steering issue. Or at least, if nothing else, it'll help us find the leak, because all that new fluid will come whizzing out somewhere. Excuse me, the hiccups. Boy, I'm glad that the clutch is fixed though. That's
not a major project.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's great that it's working now, but I'm still not exactly thrilled about the amount of free play that is going on in this clutch. That, I mean, that might mean that the clutch is at its like near its end of limit of wear, of adjustability. See the thickness of the friction material on the clutch plates, it wears down over time, and that's what this adjustment takes up to account for the wear. The fact that we have to adjust it so far to get the clutch to work could mean that it's near its end of life.
What's this for?
That is the tachometer drive.
What's that?
I talked about this in a previous video, but since you're asking me now, I will explain it again. This is the generator.
Mm-hmm.
This little doohickey right here runs off the shaft coming out of the back of the generator. It's called the tachometer drive unit. There's a cable that is missing because it's broken that attached here. This is the end of the cable that snapped off.
Oh, nice.
Okay. That cable runs up to the back of the tachometer, screws onto the back of the tachometer.
Mm-hmm.
And when this is working, it turns the cable turns the tachometer tells you how many RPMs it's going.